you, Sienna. Michael Herbert, Mike Herb for short. I have been called that my entire life. A little bit about me. I was raised in Southern California. I tend to refer to myself as a Southern California kid. I really don't go anywhere. I spend most of my life in Southern California, a little town called Rolling Hills, Palos Verdes, where my father was an attorney, my mother was a homemaker, and he worked with real property. So I spent most of my childhood sitting in the back of a real property law class with my father, and he did one landmark case that I remember very well as a very young child called Save Our Coastline, where he incorporated a city called Rancho Palos Verdes today. You can find information about it on the internet. It's a great story about visionary real estate thinkers, okay? Second thing that I wanted to say is, as my career moved into the professional life, I went from being a commercial fisherman to being a high-end IT sales guy. And ultimately, in 2018, I decided to dive in full force and become a licensed California real estate agent. And a couple of months after I got my real estate license, I was approached representing a property, a raw land piece of property up in a little bit north of here, north of Los Angeles, and it was a $53.7 million property. That property listing led into many more listings after that I still represent today and work with a lot of raw land deals as well as high-end estates, all types of real estate. So with that, my insane amount of energy I'm going to give you today, because it's just coming to me, I'm going to introduce you to Sienna Livingston, who just introduced me. Sienna and I have worked together for about a year, about 4 months ago, we created the Agent on Fire entity, and we said, you know what? It's time to share the fire. Sienna's a phenomenal marketing consultant, knows everything about about the latest technology in advertising and marketing on the internet and on media. So with that, fire it up, Sienna.
Hey, yeah, I've been in the marketing space for over 10 years, probably 20 years, even was doing marketing for my parents' Arabian Ranch when growing up in Northern California when I was a kid. So kind of got my feet wet in the industry when I was a teenager. So yeah, Mike and I met, like you said, I mean, we've known each other for about a year, but we got on the phone and we both have real estate in common. And he talked about commercial fishing. I grew up in a little town in little tiny bush community that he happened to fish out of. And that's where we kind of connected. We have a connection with Alaska. And it was just like crazy, amazing thing. And, it's like my background, I used to be the marketing director for a real estate coaching company. Loved it. Loved serving my boss's clients, helping them with their marketing. And so when he told me that he was looking for someone to do the marketing part of this, and I was just like, heck yes, let's do it. So we are super excited to bring you the fire, help you with your sales and marketing, which we're both passionate about, and help you create a system that's going to help you build a real estate business that you can count on. Anyways, I'm going to give the floor back to Mike and let him bring the fire. He's like our little big fire hose. Yeah. And okay. I'm going to mute out because my dog, my puppy is barking. So
I'll probably bother your dog. All right. Thank you. Thank you for introducing yourself, Sienna. And I'm muted, so we all thank her. The first thing, and this is a last minute piece of fire that a buddy of mine named Pete Lormer in Beverly Hills, he was my first brokerage that I worked for. And he did this thing called the Monday Mantra. And I love Monday mantras because on Monday morning, a lot of people think of the week as a 5-day work week. Well, in real estate, every day is Monday. Every day is Tuesday. And you get to bring the fire every day. And here's what Pete gave me this morning on his Monday mantra, I want to call it. Move fast, break things. Move fast, break things. I don't want to use what I would say on that, but move fast, break things, okay? What he means by that is there are so many agents out there that go to the schools, that take the courses, that join the big giant brokerages and go to all the meetings and all the trainings, and it's all the same shit. I had to say it, sorry. It's all the same stuff. It's not bad, okay? I get to meet those people every single day of my life as a real estate agent. But you know what? There's one piece that's going to draw those clients in. And when they get to know you, they're going to be like, wow, this gal, this dude is completely involved in me and cares only about me and my success. Completely selflessly, no agenda. You don't expect anything. If you approach your listings like that, you'll get a lot of them. So I'm going to bounce out of that, but write that down. Move fast, break things. Second thing, you're going to hear us talk about this. Does it read properly? Value, influence, trust, and confidence. So value needs to be addressed looking inward at yourself. What is it about me that's going to help you? I need to know this. I need to study this. I need to take time. This is the work of bringing the fire to the table. I'm sure many of you know, like, you've sat in a listing meeting, you've sat in any kind of a real estate presentation where there are other parties involved and there's very deep conversations. They might be personal, they might be friends, they might be family, relatives. Oh my gosh, that's what makes real estate so wonderful, because it's always so personal the majority of the time when you're talking about residential retail listings. These people, I love that. When you go into someone's house and they tell you what happened in each room, and they tell you when they painted it, and they tell you when they bought the furniture, and you're just sitting there going, I know it really doesn't matter in the sale of the house, but I want to hear about it. It means something. It does, to some real estate agents, it doesn't mean anything. It's just dollars and cents. And we have to be on that side of it. So anyway, that is where I go with that. Value, influence, trust, and confidence. Because at the end of all the conversations, of all the comparables, of all the inspections, of all the different things that we're going to go through as real estate agents, are your clients confident that you are going to represent them with 1,000% drive that you gave them when you met them? Okay. I got a compliment one time, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but this gentleman, I love him to death. Okay. And we met because I was showing a house over in the valley, San Gabriel Valley, or San Fernando Valley, Woodland Hills. And I was showing a house. The house was way overpriced. Okay. The person I was showing it to was another agent, meaning for a big investor, blah, blah, blah. They left. I did what I do. I walked around the neighborhood and talked to all the dog walkers. and I met one dog walker. I think her name was Jane. Just call her Jane. She told me about the house next door to the one that I was showing, and I noticed it. No one lived there. Okay. It was a family house, and I ended up representing the property, and I did all the things and used all the tools that you use in real estate to get the name of the owner and look up all the title and everything else. But ultimately, I became great friends with the owner of that house, and I'm still friends with him today. Okay. And he wrote at the end of our transaction when we sold that house, he said, "I'm so glad I answered the phone that day. And the guy he said he was on the phone." Now, I might have been promoting myself. And to some clients, this comes across as overselling yourself. Well, if that is the way it gets perceived, then you might not be a fit for that particular client. Because in my eyes, I'm a fit for every client. I just need to be receptive and listen and listen to those stories. I have a beautiful fiance. Her name is Jessica. She's like, "Why do you take so long doing things?" And that's why. Because I love doing it. I just love doing it. So value, influence, trust, and the big one, confidence. You want these people to be confident in you and you alone. You are the only person that they will hire to do this job when it comes to your real estate transaction with them, whether you're representing them on the buyer side or seller side. So I'm going to jump into another story, and we're going to talk about agents. Okay. And one of my dearest, closest, longest brother from another friends works as a performer, a Hollywood actor. And I learn a lot from that, because the agent world in that business is completely different than what we do here. But there's one thing that's the same. And it's the difference between average Joe and the elite. And it's the fire you bring to the table, the fire you bring to the conversation. That fire comes from your intention. What is the intention? Example. I'm going to talk about something in a minute that I believe deeply. And it's a conversation that compares power and the battle of force. So force versus power, power versus force. But in the world of Hollywood agents, everybody has an agenda. Okay? That agent has a $10 million mansion, $100 million mansion on the beach in Malibu. Those things need to get paid for. He's got families, he's got kids, he's got expensive cars. This is a high level, high dollar industry, right? There's an agenda there. But what's the intent when you meet a client? There's always a little bit of something that's selfish, that's something that needs to get done. Okay? If I go to work for the money, I will not have a good time at work. If I go to work because I need the money, I'm not going to have a good time at work. Because in the back of my head, all I'm praying for is the money. That's where the inside job comes from. Power versus force. And I'm going to give you an example from a different industry, one that I spent a couple of years in. It's called the health club industry. I used to work for a company in my, we'll call it a while ago, 30s, when 24-hour fitness was a gym, which you probably all have heard of. I worked in that gym, and I was number 3 in the company in sales nationally. And we used to sell gym members, okay? When you sell a gym membership to someone, that doesn't want it, they come back the next day and say, I'm sorry to bother you, but I don't want this. Buyer's remorse. You buy a car, same thing. Okay. Well, when you're talking about a real estate transaction, someone's home that maybe was their parents and their grandparents, and they're selling it inside of an estate sale. Okay. There's a lot more going on than just getting the house sold. Okay. That might actually be the intention. Please get this done. We don't want to think about this anymore. Write that down. You said the most important thing for us and our family is to make sure that we get this transaction done so that our family can heal. You need to be a part of that at a level that you've never been in your life in any other job. But in real estate, as a real estate agent, that is your job. Okay. Another example comes to mind. Okay. And we're gonna talk about some current transactions that we're working on. And one of them is out in Palm Springs. Okay. I have a listing out in Palm Springs. It's been in escrow three times. And it didn't fall out because it's not a good property. It didn't fall out because it's, a complicated transaction. It fell out because of an environmental research study that needs to be done. So what do you think Michael Herbert does when I find out about an environmental research study? I learn everything I can about the environmental research study. Who did it, when it happened, why it needs to happen, what the parameters of that area are. And now we have a transaction that after 3 long years, it's a 2-acre piece of raw land. It's about a $2 million piece of property. And it's going to close escrow the end of May. Why? Because I did not stop 3 feet of the gold. I will not stop, and neither will you. Okay? So in this first day of being an agent on fire, everyone that came today, everyone you think you know can help you become even more on fire, okay? Our goal here is to bring you the most awesome technology you've ever seen to handle your lead funnels and handle all your clients, incoming potential new clients, as well as create the valued influence that proper media and use of YouTube, social media, all the platforms will create for you. And one of the most important things that you can do is to speak live directly to the camera. As I look at you guys right now, I'm looking at you. I'm actually looking at a camera, but I'm visualizing in my mind all of you guys smiling, thinking, contemplating. All of those things are happening right before my eyes. Why? Why is that? Because I am the most annoying, positive dude you're ever going to meet in your life, and I won't stop, and neither will you when we're done with this. So with that, I'd actually like to turn the stage. I don't know where we are on the clock right now, but I'd like Sienna to speak about some things in marketing that we work on together that are a little bit more technical, but she does a much better job of explaining those than I do. And it's time for Sienna.
Hey. Howdy. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about social media. Before I give you your homework assignment. So social media, let me find, and going back into the conversation which Mike was having about bringing force versus power versus force, and being just really strategic about your message. You know, for one of the first things that I'm going to ask you to do, Mike and I are going to ask you to do, is go live here in the challenge. That's something that a lot of people have a tough time doing, but this is a safe environment to go live, to share who you are, your name, where you live. You know, my name's Sienna Livingston, and I live in Northern California. And I've been an agent. I'm not an agent. I've been in marketing for over 20 years. And I am so passionate about what I do because I love seeing my clients create 30K in 7 days. I love to see them create $70,000 in a 7-day challenge. You know, that's exciting to me. I'm passionate about helping my clients succeed, helping them to get 100, or not 100, but 1,000 leads on their email list in 30 days or even 7 days. And some of the things that I've done with my clients. So going live and just talking about who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about, things that are going to be connecting with your friends, you know, your Facebook or your Instagram, whatever platform you're on, and not just posting. There's nothing wrong with you posting your open houses or your listings or your sales. That gives you credibility. That's amazing. People need to see that. But if that's all you're posting, that doesn't connect with anybody. It's boring, and people are just not going to be that excited about it. Live video is what the algorithm of Facebook and Instagram love. They love seeing live video. That's, you know, it's going to pop up on your friends' feeds, and they're going to come out and watch you. And so choosing, number one, you know, sometimes we're like, oh, all social media. It's like, choose one platform. If you love Facebook, choose Facebook. If you love Instagram, go live on Instagram. Do your posts on Instagram. If it's YouTube, whatever platform you are using that are going to reach the most people and that you love and you're most comfortable, choose that. And then also choose a way of connecting, communicating with your audience. If you're great at doing live video, awesome. Not so much. Make sure you're going live in our group so that you get practice, but post some type of social image. Post something every day that's going to connect with your audience and your platform. You can share an image, a live video, share a tip, and it doesn't have to be in real estate. You know, a lot of what we do is personal development. We love personal development and growing. So it can be in any type of thing that you're interested in, that you're focused on, and what you're passionate about. So just starting to create content on your social media. So that's all I have as far as little tips for social media today. I'm going to ask that we're going to give you a little homework assignment, and that's going to be to not only post some type of content on your own social media, you know, choose what platform you're going to use this week and commit to that. Make a declaration of committing to posting once a day for the next 7 days on your social media. I'm going to ask that you go live in the Agent on Fire Challenge. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you live, what state you live in, what your emphasis is, what you do, what you specialize in. Maybe some of these things aren't really clear, but I know in marketing, niche, your audience, very important. Niche, audience, and your message, very, very important. And it's the same in real estate, because you want to be laser focused on the things that you're going to bring to people, to your audience, and what you're creating in your business. That's what's going to make you an agent on fire, bring you success, make you an influencer, build trust, authority, credibility, value, confidence, influence, and value. So anyways, go live on Facebook, on our challenge group, and we look forward to seeing the videos. We look forward to hearing who you are, learning about you, and post any questions and any takeaways that you have. That's it I have. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, Sienna. That is so perfect. And that is a great way to end our first power session. We all have our days ahead of us. I'm going to give you a piece of mind. I reached over and I grabbed a book to fan the flames of my fireplace. I noticed a book. It was a children's book entitled You Matter. Truth, simple, straightforward. I matter. You matter. So take a walk with me, as in every business, every work relationship, every conversation, every sport, every single activity. I am the guy you get right now. Okay? Today is the greatest day in your life. Today. Blow it up. Set it on fire. Let's kill it all, guys. Let's just go down the rabbit hole of Agent on Fire, please. Can't wait to hear all your live videos and everything about you, that you can fit in 2 to 3 minutes. And I appreciate you all greatly for being here today.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, have a great day. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.